Focus on me. There we go. Let's play a game called Will the Camera Overheat First or Will the Battery Die? Anyway, so I saw... Oh boy. I saw Brahms The Boy 2, which... Who asked? Who asked for a sequel of this? No one asked for a sequel of this. Anyone who actually saw the first movie was like, well, that was a thing that happened. You know, to quickly recap, the first movie stars Lauren. You know, I was on The Walking Dead, but then I wanted to branch out and do my own show, but then that show got canceled, so now I have to go back to The Walking Dead. Cohen, she, like, moves to England, like, house sits, goes big England, big house, doll, weird things. You know, is the doll possessed? Is it like a Chucky thing? What's going on? Turns out, really is a grown-ass man hiding in the walls, and there's a doll, and things get really rapey. Alright. So, the second one stars Katie Holmes, which I haven't seen Katie Holmes in a movie in, like, a while. I actually looked at her IMDb, and I was like, oh no, she's been doing consistent work, but, you know, I haven't seen her in things that I usually watch. So, you know, she's in England with her son and husband is business. She's, I think, a stay-at-home mom. It really doesn't matter. In these movies, doesn't really matter. Anyway, they have a kid, and the kid, you know, has like 3 lines of dialogue before he's like mute for half of the movie. But anyway, so there's a home invasion, and so because they get, you know, because of burglars and shit like that, Katie Holmes suffers from headaches, all because she has a concussion, all that stuff. The husband, because he's like, I can technically work from anywhere. I'm like, great, you know, that's, it's like what's happening right now is that, like, yes, there are some people who are lucky enough to be able to work remotely. I, on the other hand, as someone, you know, who has a day job in in the arts, it's not something you can just do at home. Like, I have my own art I can do at home, but, like, when you do any, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, yeah, it was that one newscaster was like, yeah, you can't drive a bus from home. I mean, you can, that would be very interesting to watch. You can do it, like, in a I've lost my damn mind kind of thing, which, in this movie, anyway, so, they move into, funny enough, they go into the country, they move into the guest house of the big mansion, you know, house thing from the first movie, of course. So they're in the guest house, which is, it's a house, it's a fucking house, like, anyway. So they walk in the woods, the boy finds the fucking doll just, like, in a, you know, just in the ground. Like, okay. And you're like, oh, this is how it starts. Of course, they walk a little further, they see the house, and you're like, oh, here we go. So, like I said, because of the shock of seeing his mom being beat up by the burglars, the boy is mute for half of the movie. And it's funny that, because this is, like, you know, 21st century movie, he has, like, a notepad tied around his neck, not even, like, a dry erase, you know what I mean? Like, just get a dry erase, it's a lot quicker. They have a notepad around his neck, like he's a kid from, like, 1945, after the war kind of shit. And, well, the reason why they have a notepad and not, you know, like, a fucking dry erase or even, like, a tablet or something for him to, like, speak through or whatever is because when the mom is having her moments and you're like, is she, like, you know, where you're like, you know she's not crazy because you watched the first movie, but, like, for the rest of the family to think she's crazy, you know, for the husband thinks she's crazy, so, because she'll go through, like, the notepad and be like, look at all these drawings! Oh my god! My son has drawn my husband and I'm dead! You know? And, of course, like, the husband is useless throughout this entire film because he's that character. Whenever in these shitty movies, it's either the wife or the husband. It's like, was it last year? There was that movie where Dennis Quaid, like, sold his home to this black couple and then he kept showing up. The wife was, like, completely useless the entire time in the movie. She's like, no, he's just nice. I'm oblivious to what's fucking going on right now. I don't know why I gave her that accent. She doesn't have that accent. But this one, the husband is just like, honey, you're just having nightmares, you know? We haven't really talked about what happened that day. I'm like, what else do you need to talk about? Like, you weren't home. We have a security system in our apartment house thing. And somehow people got in. I got beaten the fuck up. Our son was so scared he's mute. what else is there to talk about? You know, like, is there something? It's like Bill Burr's comedy thing. He's like, can we just talk? What happened to you as a child? Anyway, so it's that's the movie. It's just like her spiraling down, even though it's not her fault, and then her son just being this mute kid. So the kid is just, it's that thing where it's like, he's a kid, so he's innocent, but the doll is telling him to do things because that's apparently what happens. And that's the weird thing, is because in the first movie, the doll wasn't really possessed. It was just a doll. And, whatchamacallit, and the guy who was in the walls would, you know, come out of the walls and whatever hiding spot and just, like, move the head and do weird shit. Fine. But this one, it's like, oh, it's a possessed doll. And it's like, okay, the guy, okay. You know, because at the end of the first one, you see, like, someone is repairing the broken doll. You know? Anyway, so doll fix the anyway. So yeah, it's a possessed doll in this movie, which, because why not, right? And a sequel to a shitty movie, it can either be better, like the Ouija thing, because the first one was dumb. The second one's like, it's better, you know, not good, but you know. Or again, a sequel to a shitty movie could be, you know, like A Haunting in Connecticut, Ghost of Georgia kind of thing, where you're like, hey. Yeah, that was the title. So yeah, so it's like the doll is possessed, and then they had like this Sixth Sense kind of moment where like the, you know, like the single shot thing of like the mom leaves the child at like the dinner table, walks out, comes back, you know, but instead of in something like good, like the Sixth Sense, where she comes back and all the cabinets are open, you're like, how the fuck that happened? You didn't even hear it. Whereas in this one, like, she leaves, you hear foop, she comes out, and then like the table and shit's everywhere. And of course it's one of those really, really heavy like wood tables. Like, I think I have one like in my house where it's like, yeah, even my fat ass, I was like, I gotta move this table, you know. It's not a table from IKEA, you know. And so of course, you know, the husband thinks it's the wife making it up and scaring the son because she's still having whatever brain head issues. And then she's again, that's where she's flipping through the notebook, being like, look at these, the dead drawings, where did they go? And the husband's like, you're overreacting, you're a woman. You know, okay, he doesn't hit her or say that, but that's pretty much his character, is that he's like, women are hysterical, especially Katie Holmes, who was married to freaking Tom Cruise. That's a crazy bitch, you know. At one of my previous jobs, Katie Holmes actually came in, and I didn't know because I was doing my job. But then someone was like, Katie Holmes is here. And then like I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, she needs sleep. I feel bad for her. You know, it's like the Britney Spears thing, where like every time I see even current pictures of Britney Spears, I'm like, does she sleep? You know? It's like the latest one where people meme it and she's like dancing in her like living room or something. But she's popping all those moves, but she just has this dead look on her face. And I'm just like, girl, just go sleep. You know? You deserve it. Same to you, Katie Holmes. Just go to bed. Just go to bed. Take a nap. Maybe like an eye mask or something. Yeah. So that's really the movie. It's just a lot of that. And then literally, like, so pretty much the movie is like a 30-minute movie. Oh my god, if only. It's a 90-minute movie. And I remember, like, I looked at the you know, the progress bar, and it's like literally halfway through the movie, then stuff happened. Like, the first half, nothing really happened. It took like 45 minutes to just establish something that it was easily established within the trailer, you know? The thing happened, they moved, the stuff with the kid, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's also, like, a groundskeeper who is the dad from The Witch. So I was already, like, part of me was like, okay, you got the dad from The Witch. Because, again, also, he's got that accent, that voice. I was like, I saw that, I was like, is that the dad from Witch? Is that the dad from Witch? And I thought to myself, they're either going to do what they did to Michael Rooker in Fantasy Island and utilize him poorly, or they're going to use him well. And they kind of did both. Like, they kind of used him poorly, but then well, and then not, you know. Anywho, so yeah, 45 minutes of just like, it's like that paranormal activity build-up bullshit where it's just like, stuff kind of happens, no one believes you, stuff kind of happens, no one believes you, stuff keeps happening, no one really believes you. And then halfway through, they, they go walk in the woods again, they actually go into the mansion house, and of course it's all whatever and all that stuff because they want to repair it, but who cares? So, Katie Holmes goes in and she's trying to find her son, and she thinks her son is in one of the passageways that actually are open. So she kind of crawls in like in the wall, and she's like, whatever her son. Oh, Jude. Her son's name is Jude because I kept having like a "Hey Jude" kind of moment, like every time she kept saying his name. Because every time she's like, Jude, I wanted her to be like, "Hey Jude, don't make it," just like really expecting her to just kind of break into song, because I feel like a musical number would have improved this movie. Anyway, so the son, she's calling out to the son. At one point she goes into some room, and then a door opens, and then the son peeks out with the Brahms mask, like what the guy wore in the first movie, because he was all fucked up underneath. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, okay, so we've gotten to this. It's 45 minutes into the movie. And then, I don't know, some shit happens. Anyway, pretty much the last half of the movie, the son has the ability to speak again, which, okay, fine. Fine, it's like, he's not actually mute, it's just because it's a case of him being scared so much that he just can't speak. I mean, there's so many movies I saw when I was little, like Hong Kong movies that my mom would watch, that it somehow, like, I don't know, like, it put odd, unnecessary fear in me that I would get too scared and then suddenly can't speak. I mean, as someone who can't shut the fuck up, it's like, I think some people would be very happy about that. But yeah, that's why it's like anytime I get scared, I'm like, ah! Like, I have to like scream it out because, like, you think you'd be like, it's like, I don't know, it's irrational fears because of, like quicksand, as a child you think you'd run into quicksand really often in the city, like, in the ghetto, in suburbia, there's quicksand in my backyard, like, really? Anyway, yeah, so the son, where am I going with this? The son has the ability to speak again, and that's when, like, people are starting to believe. People, as in the husband's like, okay, I guess things are happening. Yep. What else happened? I just remember just being like, so, like, pretty much, yeah. So, there's, like, a twist. I don't know if you want to call it a twist. It was just one of those, yeah, I saw it coming. So, the dad from The Witch, turns out that he, I don't want to say possessed because the doll is possessed. He is controlled by the doll. So, like, the reason why he's the groundskeeper and, like, he was the one at the end of the movie who was piecing the doll back together and all that stuff. And he like, his job was to, like, give the doll, like, another person. It's stupid. It's stupid. Also, oh my god, the first half of the movie, like I said, just nothing happened. When they brought the doll home, and Katie Holmes is like, okay, let's clean him up. I don't know. Maybe, I don't want to say, like, it's a white people thing, and thinking about, like, how immigrant parents were, because immigrant parents would just be like, okay, that's fine. And then you take it out to the back and spray it with a hose, and it's like, to clean it off, and then they might just rub it very vigorously, with a towel. And then, like, maybe mom will clean the clothes and, like, like, either hand wash it or put it in the, like, whatchamacallit, in the washing machine. I was about to say in the laundromat machine. But, like, in this one, it's like a full fucking autopsy forensic file scene where, like, she lays a doll on the counter, undresses it, cleans it up with a Q-tip and all that shit. Like, it was literally like an autopsy, because she would, like, take off the clothes, and it was just like the way I was shot and lit. I was like, why is this? Anyway. So yeah, dad from The Witch is a bad guy per se, whatever. Anyway, so then they're in the basement. The last half of the movie is just the son being like, sorry mommy. Anyway, they're in the basement, they want to burn the doll, and then something happens with the dad from the witch, and then he gets like, the doll, like, fucking, Darth Vader lifts him, just throws him against the wall. It's just, who greenlit this? Who greenlit this? Who said, we need a sequel to The Boy? Who saw The Boy and said, you know what? I feel like there's some, untold shit in this storyline, Like, I get it, it kind of slightly sequel baited it by doing the whole, like, someone pieced a doll back together. But, like, any of these, like, horror films, like, we all know, like, no one's ever dead kind of thing. At the same time, it's like, that we don't need a sequel to, like, this is dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell. They, like, the whole, like, the possession stuff is over, we're good. And then they were like, you know what, let's move back to the city. And I always find it funny in these movies where it's like, they leave their nice, like, duplex, whatever, apartment. They move to a house, because, again, these people just have money like that, Because, first, the apartment looks amazing. And if you're in, like, London, I'm like, bitch, you have money. Because, like, I think rent in London is worse than New York, and that says a lot. Because I've seen the price comparisons and the place comparisons. Anyway, and then yeah, so they move from their duplex to this big old house, even though it's a guest house, it's still a big ass house, and then they move back to the exact same place. It's like that episode of Fresh Off the Boat where where they leave and then they expect to come back to the same house, and they were like, no. They're like, of course we sold your house, you left, and then they were like trying to get the house back. It's like that, Anyway, yeah, so they move back to the same exact, place, and then while they're like, we're home and everything's fine, and, nothing bad will happen to us ever again because we left that out in the country. And then the son, like, grabs, like, the mask thingy, and he's just like, alright, like, talking to it, being like, I think everything's fine now, unless mommy and daddy breaks the rules. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, who's stupid? Who thought that was a good movie? Who thought the first one was a good movie? Just shut up. And then the second one, it's like, oh my god, I think it was like the week or 2 weeks leading up to the movie being released, because this was like a February, I think this was like a February release or something. Anyway, like, yeah, I think it was like, because I knew Fantasy Island was happening, and then I think, no, because obviously I went to go see Sonic and they didn't, no, because I saw Sonic and Birds of Prey on the same day. Did they put this trailer for Birds? No, they probably didn't do this for Birds of Prey. I'm just trying to think, like, when did I see The Boy, like, trailer? Did I even see it? No. I don't think I saw the trailer in theaters. I think I saw it in, like, whatever online ad, like, either, whatever I was watching online. I think that's when I saw the ad for The Boy 2. Was online. It wasn't even, like, in the theaters. Well, so something. But yeah, anyway, so, wow, 9% of battery, and I'm starting to get the warning on overheating. Alright, so, I'm almost done talking anyway. So yeah, that was Brahms, The Boy 2. No one asked for this. And it's just, it's sad to say, like, Fantasy Island was a better movie. I mean, at least I was, like, a little bit more entertained, and like, stuff was happening throughout the entire movie. This one is, like, halfway, like, through the movie, then stuff start finally happening. Like, if this really was just 30 minutes, or even just, yeah, like, 45 minutes, like an epilogue thing, like, then it would be great. But this is just kind of like, this was just like, it feels like, like the when Twilight broke their last book into 2 movies, and then the Breaking Dawn Part 1 was, like, just 45 minutes of the wedding scene, and you're like, alright, well, okay. It's like that. Compare this to Twilight, yeah. But anyway, yeah. I think the next one, oh god, I think I'm finally gonna watch Invisible Man. Shit. I heard some positive things, I've heard some negative things, but, like, I've watched the original Invisible Man, so, like, from what I've seen, like screenshot wise of the new one. It looks more like Hollow Man, but anyway, I'll probably mention that in the next review. Alright, bye. Ooh, 7%. Alright, 20 minutes, 3, 2, 1, go!